will say that I've enjoyed the TikToks as of late of people quoting oh Jan from Parks and Rec about if Leslie Knope is a dog murderer or not. I'm not saying she is, but what if she was?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how a comedy show about politics is very relevant today.
Oh, sadly. When these dads meet world, watching Boy Meets World. We grew up on the show, now we have kids and host a podcast. We watch each episode and then share our thoughts and grades. When these dads meet world.
They want you to take the roles. They do good looking people. They want you to take them roles. I am Tyler. I am your dad number one this week. And joining me on the mic is dad number two.
That's right. Dad number 2, very spooky.
Yes, Brett with the season that brings people together, Halloween.
Merry Halloween, Tyler.
Merry Halloween, Brett. Welcome back to Dad's Meet World, your weekly deep dive into that 90s classic show known as Boy Meets World. We're the two dads going to take you step by step through the show and
Day
bring
by
some joy into
day.
your life. Yes, exactly. So, Brett, how are you? What's new?
Well, as you can see, if you're watching this week's episode instead of just listening to it, it's very festive here in my office. It's also very festive out front. We've got the front yard all decorated for Halloween. We got skeletons and ghosts and a giant spider web and lots of fun lights and yeah, nice and festive for the the holiday that brings everyone together. And we got to take in another marching band show just the other night. We're recording Sunday. Just last night, we took in another marching band show, smaller this time than last time, and smaller than the one we'll be at next Saturday, where we're going to be at Ohio State Stadium, taking in a
Boo.
bunch of bands from around Ohio.
Boo.
So yeah, it's been kind of a busy week, but looking forward to the rest of next week, or this week, where I got one day of work and then the rest of the week is just vacation time.
Nice.
Yeah. How about you, Tyler? What's going on with you in the since we last recorded?
Well, since we last recorded, nothing too big. The wife and I got a minivan. Um, you know, nothing new. Thank you, thank you. We've been struggling with our current car situation. We've been rocking the one car family for the last 2.5 years. So, it was working a little bit because I was actually all both my jobs were in town and it was nice and we were able to make it work. And then one of the jobs went away, so then I had to pivot, and then it was working a little bit but not really. And now we're at a point where like we just can't, we done. So
Yeah,
we got a
we done.
minivan. It's not new, it's not even nearly that old, but
mm,
it'll do what we need for it right now, and it's got some of the fancy features that we're all excited about, and
mm.
it's just nice that we can have a little space for our children.
Do you have an entertainment system?
We do actually, and that's the thing my son
Nice.
is the most excited about. And apparently, they're going off to the car wash because they were like, "Let's clean it out real quick, and then let's take it to the car wash." And my son, the whole way there, can I watch a movie? 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 And my wife was like, just no, just allow yourself to be bored for a little bit. But I want to watch a movie.
You're batty.
Yeah. So, and it's not just DVD, it is Blu-ray. So that is exciting.
Yeah, so you can get some Bluey Blu-rays.
Mm-hmm. I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an HDMI port too, so that's interesting. Curious to see how that all
Cool.
operates, but you know, good stuff. We're gonna test it out in a couple weeks when we go to North Carolina, so
Yeah, that's
that'll
good
make
for a
things
road
easier.
trip.
Yeah, not the
Yes.
area of North Carolina that was hit by hurricane, which
Eastern
I know.
portion of North Carolina.
Yes, I know we normally don't talk about the things of this world, Brett, but for those of you, if you end up listening to this, our prayers are out there for you, and we are sorry for the hurt and hardship you're going through. Um,
And
at
hopefully
Dad's
we can
Meeting
bring a
World.
little bit of joy to your life if you
Yeah,
happen to be impacted by this. So
yeah, exactly. If you know someone that's going through some hardship right now, and you want to laugh at two guys that don't know what they're talking about but are here having fun, send them our way. Or send
that's
us
right.
their way. I don't know, whichever
Something
way
like
they're
that.
safest.
See, we don't know what we're talking about, or at least one of
Yeah.
us doesn't.
And if you are watching on YouTube right now, you'll get a shot of my puppy dog who desperately has to get pets.
That's right.
Yeah. So, Brett, should we get into that synopsis?
We should. Let's synopsize. This week, good looking people, we're going to look at the 7th episode of season 5, where I believe Michael Jacobs finally is coming back on the scene. I Love You, Donna Karan. This is part 1 of 2, wherein Shawn's steadfast rule of dating girls for only a fixed 2-week period leads him to break up with Angela.
It's a rule
Then,
he's had since season one, Brett. We both know that.
oh, of course, he's always had this rule. Then he finds himself falling in love with the owner of a lost purse he finds, since the contents indicate that she is the girl of his dreams. Meanwhile, Eric studies for a test with the help of an invisible Mr. Feeney, while Jack wonders about Eric's sanity. This episode was written by Ellen Idelson and Rob Lauterstein. Couple of new names for us.
Hmm.
This writing duo, first time they wrote for us, they will write 2 more episodes total this season. Actually, How to Succeed in Business and Promises Promises. That will be
Huh.
the entirety of what they will write for us. And directed by David Kendall. Yes, we have a new name in the director's chair for season 5 after a long run. He is an executive producer on Boy Meets World. It's going to be a fun night with my talking, apparently. Uh, Directed 12 episodes total of Boy Meets World, including starting back in season 3 with What I Meant to Say. And he'll go on to direct other episodes, among them A Very Topanga Christmas, Raging Corey, We'll Have a Good Time Then, For Love and Apartments, and others. So, this episode originally aired November 14th, 1997, and currently enjoys an IMDb rating of 8.0.
Hmm.
And last week, Tyler, our crossover episode enjoyed that delicious bump from the magical goodness of the time ball that brought the ratings up to a 13.27. What do you think the normal November ratings of just teen drama brought us, Tyler?
Oh, this episode deserves a lot more than what I'm going to say, but let's just assume we drop back down to 10.
It did get more than 10. It was an 11.22.
Yeah, take it.
And that's all I've got for our setup. So take it away, Dad number 1.
The 90s ratings just make no sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. And you know what else I don't understand, Brett? Is how dang cute can Shawn and Angel possibly be? The only girl by name we've heard Shawn dating in the past, I don't know, 2 seasons at least.
Yeah, pretty much. And yes,
Yeah.
by the way, welcome back, Tina McGee as Angela Moore.
Yes.
Welcome aboard full time, pretty much. I already mentioned her IMDb credits and her acting history. So this season, so you can go back to 502 Dads Meet Boy Meets Real World, if you want
Yep.
all that information.
Well, okay. I guess before we really get started into the episode, can we address the fact that apparently it's come out that she didn't really enjoy her time on Boy Meets World slash maybe Ben Savage and the other Savages were not the most kind to her, and thus, some there is complication for her on being this character and loving the character, but also the way that maybe she was treated on the show, also being that she's the only non-white character in the
Yeah.
show as a main cast.
Yes, I have heard some of that drama has bubbled to the surface recently. I've seen
Hmm.
some of Trina's interviews that she's given, and
Yeah.
heard a little bit of what our direct competition has shared in their interviews.
Hmm. What did they say? I can't remember.
I don't remember either.
Oh, okay. I know
Just
she
know,
was on there at one point, so
yeah, it's been so long since I really listened to it. I don't remember, but
well,
I know that there was a lot of especially I watched a chunk of Trina's interview on a different podcast just a
mhm,
few weeks back, where a big part of it was she really doesn't get along with the Savage brothers. I guess one part Ben being teenage boy, one part Ben, being ego. I am the boy of Boy Meets World type of thing.
mhm,
And of course, Hollywood in the 90s, you're going to deal with some racism, of course.
yes. Well, and that's the thing is in this time, the fact that it took us 5 seasons to finally get an actual character of color with speaking lines outside of the pilot, like it it's just kind of ridiculous, but also this is the 90s. The most popular shows in America, Friends, Seinfeld, Home
Yeah.
Improvement, like though the juggernaut shows that all
If
whiteys.
honestly, if you wanted in the 90s, if you wanted the black experience, a lot of the times you turn over to the Fox network.
Yeah.
And Living Color, A Different World, shows like that. Um, it was just there was just a very it was very still segregated when it came to entertainment. You
Yeah.
had your white shows, you had your black shows, and there wasn't really a whole lot of integration, unfortunately. And
Yeah. But
it is sad that it took them 5 seasons to bring it in.
yeah,
I do like. I do really appreciate that in bringing it in that they didn't make this huge. Hey, look at us! We're bringing on a black character, and they didn't
correct.
try to pat themselves on the back for it.
Correct. That is true. I I mean, again, we're two white guys talking about this, Brad, but uh, I appreciated overall as we've grown up with this show that Angela was just another character. It was never about, well, this character is black. There were times where she would be clear of like, you know that I am, right?
I need to get myself some black friends.
Right. Like she
Yeah,
had those
there were
moments, but
comments here and
overall,
there.
like she is a pivotal part to getting things going in the right direction, whether or not things went perfectly the way they should have. Um,
Hmm.
and I will also say about Ben Savage, you know, he, as we talked about before, carried the show so much in the first season. Like we talked
I mean,
about the so many
he
seasons, so
was
many
the star of the
episodes.
show.
Right. So many episodes. It was literally he had an issue and other people weighing in on it and him trying to figure out
Hmm.
how do I move forward. We're now at
Yeah,
the
I
point
mean,
where there's other stories happening. Hi. I see you. I
as
promise.
much as arrogant as I'm sure he was behind the scenes, coming up with things like "I'm the boy of Boy Meets World." Yes, it was a show that was tailored around his character, especially at the beginning. It
Right.
was not an ensemble.
Right.
It was all
The
about Corey and
untitled
his.
Ben Savage show initially.
Yeah, I mean, it was all about Corey at the beginning. Everyone else was a tangential character. I mean, they'd
Yeah.
have side B plots for Eric or for Alan, but it was about Corey.
Right.
Yeah. That doesn't give you the excuse to come up to a new actor who's brought on board and say, "Hey, here's where you are in the pecking order."
Right.
No.
But also, again, these are teenagers.
Yes, you
And
don't
I
expect a teenager to act like an adult.
right. And I think
Doesn't
maybe
mean you
that's the
can't
reason
ask them to.
right. Maybe that's the reason why Brett, for some of the shows that are like people were adults when they were on the shows are easier for like people to listen to the cast talk about them because it's not their formative years as they're trying to figure out who am I, and they
Mhm.
have literally both competition with other kids, which is normally how things are, and then literally adults trying to be like, well, if you don't do it like this person, then we'll get someone else to do it, and just the potential abuse that they had to deal with constantly, let alone the stuff that we saw from after what was that Nickelodeon documentary that I'm now blanking on?
Oh, yeah, I don't
Quiet on
remember the
Set.
title, but we brought that up
Um,
before a lot.
yeah. So I mean, as much as I know we love this show, there's no way that the actors walking away from it didn't walk away with trauma, which they talked about very openly.
Mhm.
And again,
Yeah.
we are nothing but supportive as adults now, you know, for the
Mhm.
adults that had to deal with it when they were children and still, having
Mhm.
your most awkward time period of your life on camera. But again, I will say thank you for putting yourself through that because for me in particular, it was very helpful in my formative years as I was trying to develop and become an adult.
Mhm.
Um, Especially as we're getting into this season, so many episodes of this season and beyond, I watched a lot trying to be like, okay, I am Corey. I'm trying to move into adulthood. How do I do that? What can I learn from Corey's experience? And it was very helpful.
Mhm.
So, you know, trust me when I
Yep.
say, people, Nielsen should be a higher rating for these episodes. So,
Yep.
but Brett, we should probably get back into Chubbies.
Yeah, let's head into Chubby's. Let's
We
go
spent a
down
lot of
those
time in Chubbies
stairs.
this episode.
Yeah.
But yes, we see Shawn and Angela are on a date. Apparently, we've established that there's a new 2 week rule that Shawn has this school year,
Yes.
where he only
Which,
dates a girl for 2 weeks.
yeah, the 1 week rule was dumb.
Yeah,
The 2 week rule shows
I
growth.
like how they established. No, he had a 1 week rule for a little bit.
That was dumb, but the 2 week rule shows growth.
Yes. And so, yeah, Sean basically says, "Hey, our time is up. It was nice." And Angela's like, "Okay, bye." He's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! You're taking this so well." She goes,
Yeah, she
"Yeah,
takes it
I
really well.
I knew what I was getting into." Like, I like how it's clear right away that Angela isn't a foil for him, but she will challenge him. Like, well, that's what we said. That's what we agreed to. That's what we're doing.
Mhm.
If you'd like to
Yeah.
change that, communicate.
Yeah, and I mean, we're 5 seasons in. We know Sean has a reputation. Everyone knows who Sean is around the halls of John Adams High. They have
Hmm.
since he was in at least 7th grade.
Hmm. But we also know, Brett, that Sean wants more than just surface level. He wants something deeper. He just doesn't believe he's worth having deeper.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I really hope the dog lovers are watching because right now you're getting a full view of my puppy dog. But yeah, I like how Topanga is wanting to maybe see if they can do a double date, and Corey's like, "Nope, 2 weeks." She's like, "That's so dumb. This is dumb. They're so cute together." Uh,
Yeah.
I like how she tries to be like, "You're scared to commit me." He goes, "What are you talking about? I'm committed to Corey. We've been together for 15 years."
Topanga and this whole rant she has, I mean, she's spot on.
Yeah, she's correct the whole way
Mhm.
through. They're just not
Yeah,
listening.
she is.
Oh my gosh,
She
do we have to start a new counter of how many times does Topanga write, but the boys aren't listening?
we might just run out of area for that one. Let's just assume that's every episode.
Hmm.
Because when they write her in character, that's every episode that she speaks.
That's very true. Pretty soon it's going to be more evident in dealing with soup or bowl. Soup.
Bull.
Yes, but apparently, as Topanga's going on this rant, Corey and Topanga turn, and Shawn has found a new girl to go on a date with.
Hmm, yeah,
So, and we don't
maybe
get
another
this
two
nameless girl
weeks.
he's making out with, but you know
Oh
how
no,
you're
she
just
doesn't have
hanging out
lines.
at a
She's an
place
extra.
and you turn, and all of a sudden your buddy's making out with a girl he's never talked to before.
Sean, Corey is so proud of him.
He
He's my
wants to hear what she
friend.
has to say. So dumb.
Yeah.
Yes, but I will say this episode's interesting because we get like transitions, but it's like we go from that to the next day, and Corey and Sean are back together talking, and they come
Yeah.
across.
It it moves pretty quickly, yeah.
It does.
It's
Uh,
another one of our episodes that just keeps going. It just moves along at a really brisk pace. You get to the end and you realize, wow, we didn't have Alan or Amy or Morgan at all.
mhm. Yes, but they're transitioned to John Adams High, Brett, and the senior wing, of course, and they're
Out
talking
by that
about.
couch I would never sit on.
Yeah, couch you never sit on. About Topanga kind of being judgmental and Sean not wanting to get hurt and or anyone to get hurt, and they stumble upon a
Mhm.
purse, Brett.
Oh, yes. Yes. And Mr. Feeney, we found this purse. Who runs the lost and found?
I love this reaction so much. I do. I teach English. I teach history,
I
film,
teach film?
and I run the lost and found. It's
That was
like
priceless, Feeney.
okay, it's like Feeney took a job that he was like, "Yes, I'll do a little teaching, and I'll be an administrator. It'll be great." And then it's like, "Oh, but someone now needs to do this. Well, I guess I can do. Yes, no, someone needs to do this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can also do that." And it's like someone also needs to do lost and found. I can't do another thing. How about the ski trip? All right, I'll do that too.
You want the ski trip, George? I don't want the ski trip.
Yeah.
Nice puffy coat.
Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh.
Earring
Oh,
boy.
Mr. Turner, why do you have to be at the other side of the school right now?
Oh, I know. Anyway.
Yes, but Brett, what could Corey have potentially found in Amy's purse that
I
makes
have
it so he
that
can't look at
same
her
question in my
anymore?
notes. What did Corey find in Amy's purse that makes him not look at her anymore?
Hmm. Now,
I've, my good looking people, it's not like I go look through women's purses all the time, but I've never come across anything. As a teenager, I had my mom would say, go get something out of my purse, or I never came across anything in a purse that really would give me that kind of reaction. What is Corey afraid of?
but Brett, put yourself in the mind frame of a dramatic hypochondriac middle child.
That's hard for me. That's the thing. I
So,
don't know what to pick
uh,
that he'd be afraid of.
right. I would imagine that there's a strong chance he either found a receipt for a product or something that he was like, "Oh my gosh, seriously? You've bought that or you've watched that or you've read that? Like maybe there's a book or whatever." Or most likely, Brett, and it's low-hanging fruit, but that's all the show is interested in. He probably found a female healthcare product and then he had to ask, "What is that?" Realizing what it was, and then became very grossed out. And
My parents still do the horizontal mambo.
I was thinking about a friend that visits once a month.
Nah. I was going the other direction.
I mean, there's a chance he also could have found that. Those two practicing,
Yeah.
safety.
Yeah, it's probably more accurate to go your direction since they did know that Boom Boom and Pooh Bear still met up for romantic rendezvous. So,
Yeah. You just got your mind in the gutter.
hey, I'm just making deep pools. But anyway, I did clip Corey and
I
Shawn
was going
going
to
through the
ask you.
purse. Yes. So let's look at them going through the purse.
Stand back. I'm going in. Okay, no wallet, no ID.
Well, there's got to be something in there that lets us know who she is, right?
Lip gloss. She cares about her lips.
Kiwi mango.
No way. That is so sexy. Do you know that the Ted Koppel show called that the lip gloss of forbidden love?
And look at this, a book of sonnets.
Ah, Shakespeare. I hear he's good. And notice the bookmark. A ticket stub to a Van Damme movie, only the greatest actor ever made.
Okay, so all we got here is a purse losing, lips protecting, poetry reading, Van Damme loving gal.
I'd give her 2 weeks.
Okay,
Give her
Brett.
2 weeks.
I don't know why, but I never noticed that Corey. Not only does he put the stuff on his lips, but he smells it first. Smells.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
He
kiwi.
picks out kiwi mango.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, Brett. I would not have been able to do that. I could look at the label
No.
and then do that, but just oh yeah, that is kiwi mango. If it's
Yeah.
like strawberry,
I could pick out
grape,
strawberry,
orange,
yeah, I
lime.
could definitely not pick out a blend like that.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that that's something that Topanga wears, so that's why it's so familiar to him.
maybe.
That's my headcanon.
Yeah. So we have a purse full of items that are leading to a who's who of potential person that's at the school who lost purse, and all they have to do is take it to the lost and found, and that's all they had to do.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not what Shawn does.
Of course not. Why would Shawn do what he needs to?
Mm-hmm. And then Brett, we get another Feeney call.
Yes, Mr. Feeney. I'm not going to
Mhm.
try it. It's too late. I might wake the dogs up.
No, you don't want to do that. Who woke the dogs up? You did. You did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who knew test scores were important in college?
Yeah, they are. They are always important.
After we found out that papers were what it was important in college, because had to make friends with the dean to get an extension on a paper.
Yeah, this just goes back to Michael Jacobs knows nothing about college. Because we'll get to my gripes about who they're studying in just a few minutes, Brett. But
That's in my notes too.
so he has a problem and he wants him to help. I do love this kind of like scorned lovers right now. Of there's someone else in there, isn't there?
It's like Kevin
Shuts
McDougal
the
from the other
door.
side.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's the kid from the other side, isn't he?
He's a professional tutor. It doesn't mean anything.
It's Kevin McDougan, isn't it? McDougal.
From a kid from the other side.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Just makes me want to see the front of Feeney's house.
Yeah. I also want to figure out where is the actual backyard.
Yeah, because this is clearly a side yard.
Mm-hmm. I like how you transition immediately, still following the storyline. And it's Eric and Jack trying to study. And it's like, all right, Louisiana Purchase. I don't know. Stop hounding me.
It's like, yeah, we're in a history class. Second month of college. Okay, I'm assuming history class. Where college level introductory history class, all of a sudden, second month, you're at the Louisiana Purchase? Okay.
But it's not just
Odd.
that, Brett. It's Louisiana Purchase, so Lewis and Clark, but it's also Marco Polo and he mentions Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, is this like a explorers
Uh,
um history class? Like,
I'm not sure what this class is.
did was it like the professor's book about the different explorers and the discoveries that made the world a better place?
Hmm.
Whitewashing history?
Very Eurocentric history class. Well, it was 1997. It would definitely be in Pembroke. It'd definitely be a Eurocentric history class. But
Mhm.
I've got no clue what kind of history class this is.
Yeah,
The
because
Michael Jacobs history class.
yeah, well, and that does bother me because it's like, what history class is a general class you're taking as a college student? Also, what major are these two?
Yeah, because you can get away with being general studies as freshmen. That's fine. Why do they have to lean so heavy into the history?
Hmm.
That's not going to be like a general studies thing that they really focus so much on as a freshman.
Right. Well, and
And
it
at the end of
bothers
the
me.
episode, Jack's taking a calculus class.
Uh huh. Well, it
That's not
bothers me
general
too.
studies for
Yes. So, like, they keep having like the same class, and I don't understand that. I had classes
Mhm.
with my majors, and sometimes we overlap, but
Yeah.
none of my roommates and I ever had the same classes. Or if we did have the same class, it was never at the same time. So
Hmm. Yeah,
I don't
it's
get it.
Michael Jacobs don't know college.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
how
that's
many
our
TV shows
mantra.
actually knows college though?
It's a
Sorry,
very
the
good question.
college that is not USC, UCLA, or NYU.
NYU.
Yes.
What
So,
do they want?
uh, how many of these people that are actually went to college actually got the real college experience and not after the fact?
Yeah,
So
that's a very good
I don't know.
question to ask.
But we get odd interaction, Brett will say, because we have William Daniels in this episode more than just that
Yes.
little spot in the hallway and also in the backyard. But we have not Dream Feeney, but Daydream Exhaustion Feeney.
Imaginary Feeny. I just
Maybe
call him
Eric.
Imaginary Feeny.
Maybe Eric was on something that a lot of college students experiment with at this time.
That would definitely explain a whole lot about his college arc.
Yes, it would.
These days, I would just go with edibles, but 1997, I'm not sure what I'd go with.
Oh my gosh, if they just had Eric be a pothead, that would make so much sense.
Yes. Just you don't even have to say it. Just have like a big poster of Ziggy Marley in the background or something.
Yeah, so he's daydreaming of Feeney right now. Imaginary
Yeah,
Feeney.
the British guy sitting on our couch. I'm from Boston, you boob.
I do love this running gag that he has of, yeah, he's from England.
Oh yeah. He's eating all our beer nuts. Mmm, nutty.
He speaks well English. Clearly, he's from England.
Yes. He's well spoken. He has to be foreign.
Yes, and Jack is a little nervous because literally his roommate and at this moment his best friend is talking to nobody.
He's having a breakdown. Jack, quick question. Feeny? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm driving.
Yep, they're gonna go off to the library and they're gonna study. That's the other thing, Brett, that slightly bothers me is just the general going to the library to study. Like, the only time in college I would go to the library specifically was to read through books that I didn't want to take out, and I was getting specific information and getting quotes from said book for papers, but never to study for a test.
I did actually. There were study rooms that I would use. I sat at the desks sometimes and the tables that were there. I studied a lot of different places around campus. Granted, I lived in a house with 8 other guys, so finding quiet places to study it was a little bit different than just doing that in my dorm room. But I actually do enjoy the show extolling the virtues of spending time in the library. I will back that 100%. And I love this B story where Eric's imagination has just kicked into overdrive to give him access to the tools he needs to figure it out on his own. And apparently the tools he needs to kickstart himself is just an imaginary version of his mentor,
Yeah,
helping him figure out what he needs to do.
I mean, it works as a good plot to get him moving.
Yeah.
So, we catch up with Corey and Shawn. Shawn is really getting into this purse and some of the sonnets that's in this purse, Brett.
Yeah. He's digging on some Shakespeare.
Hmm. Starting to quote it even.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hmm.
We're starting to see uh I wouldn't call it romantic Shawn or snooty Shawn, but I don't know, artsy Shawn we'll call it. We're starting to see artsy Shawn.
Hmm.
Yeah, up to this point
Sophisticated
we've
Shawn.
just yeah, sophisticated artsy Shawn. We haven't really seen him. We've seen hints, but we're starting to see
Hmm.
him really get into it this season. We're
Yep.
seeing Shawn be on the trailer park.
Hmm. So I like how Corey's bringing up an idea of maybe going on a new date and doubling with them, a bit of a blind date. And Shawn kind of sees right through it of, this is Topanga's doing, isn't it? It's like, no, 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 we
Mm-hmm.
both believe in this. Got this friend Deborah.
Debbie. Shawn gets a Debbie.
Oh my gosh, you're right. We finally have Debbie.
That was
There
the
is
only
no
thing I could think
Debbie.
of when Corey invited him to a date with Debbie.
I miss Stacy and Linda
Debbie?
and Debbie.
There is no Debbie.
Well, then how come I miss her so much?
Because you're nuts.
It's true. I do like how he's also starting to eat on the snow caps.
Mm-hmm.
So getting a bit of a sweet tooth that way. So I almost wonder if
Yep.
he's buying new snow caps, he's putting it in the purse.
I would imagine he's carrying that thing around like a backpack at this point, so
Hmm.
he's got to be using it for his own uses at this point. So replacing the snow caps, definitely he'd have to be. His workout regimen is eating a lot of burgers, so
That's fair. I mean, he is not. He is a poor, so he has to fight for all of the meats he can potentially have.
yes.
So dumb. I still annoyed with that episode. Yes. So, but I think this is where we're starting to see signs of Corey potentially having concern over Shawn being infatuated with the idea of whoever this girl might be. That,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you can like things about someone that they like, but how deep is that?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, and it's hard to say. Is Corey more concerned that Shawn is getting too infatuated, or is Corey getting a little too concerned about how it makes Shawn look compared to how Shawn normally looks? Because he really gets concerned when Shawn starts rocking out to Vivaldi.
yeah.
I mean, up to that point, he's just kind of, Shawn, it's a little, it's a little too much focus. but he really wants him to tone it down once he gets into Vivaldi.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Or I do like they show that Shawn opens up maybe a new compartment and finds a CD.
Mm-hmm.
And on CD is Vivaldi. Is that how you say it?
Vivaldi, yes.
Yes. The Four Seasons. Very special and famous tune. And starts to do a air violin to it.
I love seeing Shawn run around the Matthews living room.
Yes, we're finally in the Matthews living room. I almost forgot
for
to
the
mention
first
that.
time this season. Yes, which I have to say, for a double date with Corey and Topanga and Shawn and Debbie, this struck me as kind of an odd location.
Yes,
I mean,
yes, yes.
I'm glad we see the Matthews living room again, but it still strikes me as a bit of an odd location for a double date.
You think Michael Jacobs got back and said, "Why do we not have a living room set anymore?
Where did you guys put the living room?
The living
That's
room
the
has to
heart
be
of
here."
this show. Come on, we have to have one scene in every episode.
Someone has to make out on that couch. It's a requirement.
There better be a teen. There better be a boy and a girl teen sitting on this couch before this show is 10 minutes in, guys. Come on.
Yes, but we meet Deborah or Debbie, who is apparently into fitness and goes to Topanga's gym. Brett,
Yes,
Topanga has a
yes.
gym?
Apparently. But let's meet Debbie while we think about that gym. Debbie is played by Maggie Lawson. First and only time we'll ever see her on Boy Meets World. She does have 62 acting credits on her resume. Did she look familiar to you, Tyler?
Yeah, psych. I know, you know, and I'm not
You know else
telling
she
the
was
truth.
on? Give you a hint.
Step by Step.
Actually, yes.
Yeah.
Step by Step is one of the earliest shows she was on. Home Improvement. She actually
Day by Day.
Home Improvement. This same year, this same season of television, she played an older woman that Brad Taylor gets engaged to, a college girl that Brad Taylor gets engaged to.
I mean,
briefly engaged to.
You could argue that she could be, since they're seniors, she could be 18 or 19.
Oh,
that wouldn't be too crazy.
I'm just saying, if I find it interesting. She played a high school senior here and a college. I forget. I didn't go and watch the episode because I just went and did her IMDb last night, and I didn't take time to go look at today. But I just found it interesting. Here in the fall, in November, she's playing that, and elsewhere, like in a spring episode, she was playing a college, I think sophomore at least. She was also in Pleasantville, Felicity, ER, Party of Five, Smallville, Rules of Engagement. You brought up Psych. She was one of the main leads in that. 2.5 Men, The Santa Clarita Diet, and more. But yeah, Topanga has a gym that she goes to, and Maggie is an instructor at this gym.
Debbie.
Good for her as a high school senior being an instructor. That's good.
Yeah. Well, and that's why I was going to say maybe she could be a year out, which could make sense as well.
Yeah.
Either way.
She's very intense, though.
Yes, very much intense.
She can't turn it off.
Yes. Because when she hears this, all she can think about is fat people dancing, I believe. Or doing jumping jacks.
I can see her fat people. Like, wow.
Yeah.
That's not a good look there, Debbie.
No. But she does love burgers. Eat fat, burn fat.
Eat fat to burn fat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Topanga is really, as right as Topanga was at the very beginning, she is so blinded by what she wants out of this date. Correct. She is not reading the room at all, and she is so off the mark. So I was trying to figure out,
these two makes sense logistically.
No, on paper, maybe because they're both good-looking people that they might work out.
Correct.
But so I was trying to figure out, because they had her right in the teaser. Where in this episode, which one of these characters did they all of a sudden slip out of character for? Was it Topanga, or was it Shawn, or was it just a teenager getting focused on what she wanted out of the situation?
Right. Well, I mean, I would say that there it's very, very clear that Shawn is not just is just John Adams well known, but is well known in the area. So even if she doesn't
Oh
go
yes.
to John Adams, she is aware of who he is. So
Yeah. I mean,
this
we
is an
saw him in
opportunity.
what, season 3, he was at another school,
Hmm.
another party. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that outrageous that she would hear about this boy who is a woman's man, and she could see, can she tame Sean Hunter? But I don't know. She does not work for who he is, even outside of the realization that he likes classical music and poetry. He
Yeah.
still would not be interested in a girl like this.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to Topanga, there's some stuff going on for Shawn right now, but even with that going on, I don't see Shawn and someone as this into her fitness instructor world
Yeah.
working.
I mean, the only thing I can see is that she likes her, and so she wants to hang out with her, and hopefully her and Sean might hit it off.
Hmm. Maybe.
So
Maybe she owes her for uh some back pay for some unpaid rent, or not rent,
maybe,
unpaid gym membership fees.
maybe. Yes, but apparently, as as one day is going horribly, Corey and Topanga want to invite them to, I don't know, go do a double date outside of town. I think at their bed and breakfast or at the cottage on the weekend. Yes, for a
We're
weekend
back
at the
to
cottage.
we're back to old couple territory.
Mm-hmm.
Old married couple territory.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes.
Yes, but Sean decides he needs chocolate, and Debbie is just grossed out by this.
Do you know how many calories that is?
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes.
Sorry, good-looking people. No, and yes, there is a lot of calories, but sometimes you want the calories. It's okay.
Sometimes you need the calories.
Sometimes you just want to shove a Pop Tart in your face. It's okay.
That's right.
What I was just doing. Um, yeah, it's a very uncomfortable date, and I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm glad Shawn runs out. I would have too.
Hmm. Yeah. So we have an odd exchange between Corey and Sean where Corey kind of apologizes and Sean's just like, whatever. I'm fine. Everything's fine.
Mhm.
Everything's good. And apparently this is the point where he's giggling a little bit.
Yeah, Shawn giggling is quite a different experience.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And we run into Angela again, Brett.
Yes.
Apparently there's something different about him and she likes it.
Mm-hmm. He is
Yeah.
wearing that shirt.
Yes. This old thing. That must be a line Jacobs likes because he was trying that with Corey last season too.
Yeah.
Yes, but people can't understand why he's so happy right now, Brett.
Yeah, he's got that feeling that Corey described. He thinks he saw a bunny. He woke up and the world was just, it felt good.
Hmm. I mean, I will admit that, when you are with the right person, you can have those flutter of feelings, especially towards the beginning. And every now and then you get little small glimpses back towards that. But Sean is just looking crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking Schmiegel levels of crazy right now. Mm-hmm. The one purse to rule them all.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I can just see I can see the trailer for it now.
Hmm. Yes, but apparently he thinks he loves Purse Girl and wants to have what Corey and Topanga have. Which let's fully stop here, Brett. Good-looking people never ever compare what someone else has with their significant other with what you may have potentially someday with someone else or what
Yeah.
you have right now. It is never a good idea to compare those things. They're not the same thing. They will never be the same thing. Just because you have people that are married or have been in a relationship for a long time, it doesn't mean that you know what's going in and out of that relationship. Um, so
Yeah.
don't
No
ever
one
assume
wins in
that
the
they
comparison game.
no, but don't ever assume that a couple has things figured out and they are perfect when they don't, and it's okay. You're not supposed to have everything figured out. You're supposed to
Hmm.
try. And that's part of the key.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that it makes sense to me that Shawn wants something like what Corey has, because that's
Hmm.
something that he's seen as missing his entire
Hmm.
life. His dad would always try to have that for himself, and it would always fall apart.
Hmm.
And that's something that he sees value in. He sees Corey have value in that. He sees that in other families and other relationships around him, and he sees the good in it. But
Hmm.
and it's something that he wants. And so I can see the value in him expressing that.
Yeah. I do love this next exchange, Brett, between Eric and imaginary Feeney, because he's like, a B, that's the best grade you can get in college.
Oh, I clipped it.
Please.
B. A B in college is like the best you can do.
You did very well, Eric.
Lou. You know, a lot of people might not appreciate what you do, but I do.
You know, Mr. Matthews, I understand that I'm in your imagination, but this ascot, I think we can do better.
I'll do anything you want.
Another thing, you've got me in briefs. I'm a boxer man.
You want me to change your underwear?
Ah,
I
the
can
innuendos.
I can never not laugh whenever I watch that sequence. You want me to change your underwear?
But again, Eric, if you're a random guy walking in and a guy starts talking like that, it's reasonable. That could be his reaction. Because
Someone
Eric sounds
standing with me
crazy.
alone in an elevator starts to say that to me, I'm going to be getting off of the next floor as soon as I can, too.
Hmm. Yes. But apparently, he waves the paper in Jack's face because he has a B. And he goes, "You got a B? How'd you get a B?" Like I told you, Feeney.
Yeah.
It's just okay. They've made clear that not Eric, Jack is smart. So
Hmm.
it'd be like he got a B and I didn't. It's like whatever grade you get is what you get. It's based on the knowledge you have.
Yeah. I just got beat by Eric on a test. That's just wrong. Is exactly what Jack says.
Yes, and if Eric did a better job studying for it, he deserves the right to get that grade.
Hmm.
That's the way
I mean,
college works.
it's not a competition where you can just leapfrog someone because you answered the question quicker or did some magic voodoo and
Hmm.
I don't know, showed up earlier. Uh, you answered what you knew.
Hmm. Well, again, though, that's not understanding what college is, and
Hmm.
you're not competing, and you're there to get your grades and to move on with your life.
Mhm.
So just a misunderstanding of what's actually going on.
Yeah.
So, da, 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 da. I do like that Jack is attempting to potentially connect with Mr. Feeney.
This invisible Mr. Feeney.
Hmm. Yes, we get a very interesting scene between Corey and Shawn, though, Brett, because
Hmm.
they're talking about how apparently the purse girl called and she's supposed to meet up with him at Chubby's, and he doesn't want to go
Hmm.
because what if the purse is not what he thinks it is, and he is
Yep.
concerned over what's going to happen.
And I clipped most of this conversation between them two because I
Okay.
wanted to hear Shawn share it too for our good-looking people.
Corey, I can't meet her. This feeling's so incredible. I just want to hold on to it for as long as possible.
I know, but do you understand that when you meet her, that feeling will only get better?
And what if it doesn't? And what if it's not as good as what I have now?
With the purse?
Just drop it, Corey.
Listen, what are you so afraid of?
I'm afraid of getting hurt, okay? I mean, I've seen the pain on my father's face every time a woman walks out because he's not good enough.
Shawn, you are not your father, okay? And this thing is not real.
Hi, guys.
Okay, this is real. All right, I smile at her, she smiles back. She's there for me, through the good and the bad.
Yeah, well, I've come from, I've never seen love work.
They're both right in their own regard.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn is worried about being hurt, and Corey's making it clear you won't know if you're actually going to get hurt or not unless you try,
Mm-hmm.
because the purse isn't real.
Yeah.
The concept technically is real, but you don't know the real person behind it.
Yeah, and I mean Shawn's fears are valid.
Hmm.
He comes from a lifetime of seeing his dad be walked out on time and time and time again. His world does not see love end well. It sees
Hmm.
love broken and shattered over and over and over again. He's been walked out on. He spent a year living with his teacher because his mom left him and took the house.
Hmm.
So, I
Hmm.
mean, he's not wrong himself. So it takes a vast amount of strength for him to go ahead and meet up with the purse girl.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. But I do like this make clear of it's only real when you make it real.
Hmm. And he needs to see that. He needs to
Yes.
realize that he can't just hold on to the feelings because they're just feelings. They're not reality.
Hmm. Yes, but we go back to the apartment, Brett, where Dream Dream Feeney is going to be taking off
Yes, and
because he
Eric did
doesn't
not
need him
close the
anymore.
milk or the cream, whatever he was cooking with when he put it in the fridge. That
Hmm.
bugged me. It just did. But you see, going to Laughlin, Nevada.
Yep. Why? Who cares?
He just does. I love the way he Dream Feeney tricks Eric. Oh, look, a rare bird in your apartment.
Polo,
Your
Marco,
subconscious got you to do the look over there.
Polo, Mr. Matthews.
Polo. It's. I have to say, there's just something about the way that Will Friedle plays that moment. That
Hmm.
polo Mr. Matthews moment. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is.
Hmm.
But that polo Mr. Matthews sticks with me. I don't know why, but it
Hmm.
resonates for some reason. It's that I don't know, that moment of understanding where he realizes that those moments that he had with Mr. Feeney in his mind they're gone, but they weren't really there to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
But they were real to him. But I don't know, it's just Will pulls it off. And they just, like I said, they just resonate with me.
I do love Brett that we go back to Chubby's and he is once again playing some Four Seasons.
What jukebox, especially in Chubby's, has Vivaldi on it?
Brett, this is the heightened imaginary world that Michael Jacobs has produced called Boy Meets World.
Oh, I know. But still, I have to ask the question. I mean, come on.
I mean, you're allowed to ask. Unfortunately, Brett, they can't give you an answer.
I mean, he would be like fourth composer on the list I would expect the jukebox company to put in there.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Maybe it was in the domain at the time. They could easily pull it. But yeah, we get a random girl walk down and they make eyes with each other. But then Brett, she hugs another boy.
She has a boyfriend. Purse Girl is spoken for and Shawn is broken up.
Now, I think this next line should be taking place in the Matthews' kitchen and or back to the living room, or maybe even in Boy's bedroom, but we don't got time for that, because it's the next day at school, Brett, where Shawn yells at Corey. As he should.
Let him have it. Yeah.
And he's upset because he opened himself up, and now he is hurting, and he blames Corey and Topanga because he filled it in his head that he should try to go for it. And then we get one of the most plottiest plot things I've ever seen in my entire life of
the plottiest plot twist that ever plotted.
Thanks for holding on to my stuff. Oh, no problem. It's a good thing you got your purse back so I can get my things back. It's like, wait a minute. Angela was borrowing a purse. She left it somewhere. Yada, yada. Like, that's what happened? Yeah.
Well, let's give Purse Girl her name, finally, because the purse belongs to Beth. Yes, Purse Girl actually does have a name, even though it's all Angela's stuff. Beth is played by McKenna Jones. This is her first of 2 credited appearances on Boy Meets World. And I say credited because her other credited appearance is on Chasing Angela, and I don't remember for sure, but I suspect it's because it's previously on clips that we're going to see from this scene here. She has 15 acting credits on her resume, including Love Boat, The Next Wave, The Bold and the Beautiful, Monk, Life, CSI New York, and a few others. And she has not been on camera since 2013. But yeah, so
interesting.
Yeah, I didn't watch ahead, and it's been a little while since I've seen Chasing Angela. So I suspect it's going to be the previously on montage that we see her in.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just really, really convenient to the plot that Beth and Angela just happen to dump out the purse on the table right in front of Corey and Topanga.
I do like we get to the close, Brett, and Jack is trying to communicate with Feeney because still he's upset that Eric got a better grade than he did on the test, and is trying to call for him, and makes it clear he's not there. He's over somewhere else, and Feeney waves at the camera one last time.
Yeah, first of all, he doesn't exist. Second of all, he's in Laughlin, Nevada. Third of all, you have the skills. This is calculus. Mr. Feeney. Yeah.
Brett, that's the end of our episode. My goodness.
That is indeed. So, Tyler, do you have any deep dives for us?
I do indeedy.
People. Am I the only one who read the summer reading list?
Let's talk snow caps. Say it with me. When I say snow, you say caps. Snow.
Caps.
Snow.
Caps.
Snow.
Front.
So Snow Caps is a brand of candy consistent of small pieces of sweet or semi-sweet chocolate covered with white non-porous. Um, Snow Caps can be found around the world and are commonly associated with movie theaters. They have often been sold at concession stand. Introduced in 1920s by, gonna butcher this, but Blumenthal Candy Company. Blumenthal Candy Company. Uh, yeah, Ward Foods acquired it, and the brand got larger. Chicago taste or Chicago-based Tarzan Company, 1981, and Nestle's acquired it in 90 or January 9th, 1984. Let's see what else. Okay, so Ted Koppel, also known as Edward James Martin Koppel, born February 8th, 1940, is a British born American broadcast journalist known for as an anchor and nightlife from programs inception 1980 to 2005. Um, yeah, there is a lot of history involved in this gentleman and everything that's come since. Okay, so here we go. There are several different collections of Shakespeare sonnets, um, released 1598, 1599, 1599, 1609, May 20th, 1609, June 19th, 1609, 1612, 1613, 1614. So many different editions and many different versions that appeared. So, which one it is in particular, who's to say? Okay. Oh, that's what we were going to go to. So, another topic that was popped up, Brett, was lip gloss. So lip gloss is a cosmetic used primarily as giving lips a glossy luster and sometimes a add of subtle color. It is distributed as a fluid or soft soil or solid soil. Wow. Not to be confused with lip balm, which generally has a medical and sometimes soothing purpose, or lipstick, which generally is a solid cream-like substance that gives off more pigmented or colors. Product is available in the range of occupancies and translucent to solid. Can be variously frosted, glittery, glossy, and metallic finish. History, that's what I'm looking for. Lip gloss was invented by Max Factor in 1930. He wanted to create a lip product that would make lipstick shine and glossy for film. Factor created makeup for the TV industry. He uh, developed mic'd up specifically to addressing. Sorry. He developed makeup specifically for acting, casting in black and white films. Women were inspired by movie actresses to embrace this makeup and trend. So, um, lip gloss has been around for quite some time. That's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm reading. Yes, this is how we're going to end it. Brett, there was one last thing that was in Angela's backpack, and that was, of course, a ticket to the latest Rob Van Dam movie. So, Brett, we may or may not have talked about this before. So, tell me if this sounds familiar to you. An international spy teams up with an arms dealer to escape from a penal colony and rescue his family from a terrorist. Rated 4.8 out of 10 on IMDb. Directed by Hark Tusi. Written by Don Jacoby and Paul Mones. Stars Rob Van Dam, Mickey Rourke, and Dennis Rodman.
Really? Yeah, that sounds
Double
about right.
Team.
Oh,
1979.
yeah. Okay. I remember it now.
I figured you would. My link wasn't
Yeah.
working for whatever reason, so I was like, why aren't you working? And
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Brett-
Back when Dennis Rodman was breaking into the movie scene, and that didn't last too long.
Yeah. Those are your deep dives.
All right. Well, let's talk about...
You know anything about the Odyssey? Huh? Did I say you could talk?
I didn't teach you that.
My friend Mr. Matthews will lead the discussion.
Do I have to draw you a picture?
What did we learn? Tyler, what did you learn this week?
Stay out of strange women's purses. That's not yours.
Ooh, good
They're
lesson.
not your significant other. They're not your mother's. Stay out of them. Literally the only two women's purses I've ever gone through were my wife's and my wife's. My wife's.
My wife.
And,
she's very nice.
yes. My wife's and also my mother's. Mom was a long time ago. Also, when she would say, "Go into my purse." My wife really doesn't actually carry around a purse anymore. She has this whole balance of baby bag and whatnot, so shoving her stuff in there. But yeah, I think occasionally when I had girlfriends that had purses, I would peek my head in there. But outside of that, if it's a adult person's purse or even their backpack, I say stay out of it.
Good lesson. I learned don't set dumb rules. Seriously, especially when it comes to a relationship. If you go in setting an end date before you enter a relationship, you're just dooming yourself to failure and limiting yourself to possibilities. If you're going in expecting to get hurt, then don't bother going in. I mean, if you're just going to go in, especially to a relationship, if you're just going to go in expecting to get hurt, you're just going to go in walled off. So why bother going in? Don't set yourself dumb rules. Be smart, but don't just go in with dumb rules and play. Use smart rules.
Yeah.
So that's my learning. And don't put imaginary Mr. Feeney in tighty whities, boxers. So,
I'm right.
No, you're exactly right.
So am I done with my education? Can I go?
how would you grade I Love You, Donna Karan?
I'm gonna have to go with a solid A, Brett. I think at this point the A pluses need to remain a little higher up. I think I was a little too gracious last season with my A pluses, but by far this is a solid episode, and it's one that I go back to, and it's by far a better episode than the one we're gonna have next week with the follow up. But this is a really good episode, and I do love it a lot. I think it's just I don't know if it's the pacing of it sometimes throws me off, or just like certain conversations happen in the wrong locations that I go, why is that? So I'm more comfortable doing A than A plus, which is really just the difference of a pinch.
Yeah. I'm going to stay in the A territory. I'm going to go with an A minus. I mean,
Very
it's
nice.
still a solid A episode. There's, there's some things that are a little bit off of center here. Some of the locales are off. Topanga's a little bit off base, especially with that whole Becky thing. Debbie, not Becky. Where'd Becky come from? Debbie. But a lot of the heart is really there. Yeah, still solid A minus. Yeah, I'm still there for it. Yeah. So
Fair.
I believe you owe me a dad joke.
I believe I do too. Let's give this one a try, Brett. Who did the ghost take on a date?
I'm not sure. Who did the ghost take on a date?
His ghoul friend. Okay, one last one. How does a ghost cow laugh?
How?
Moo ha 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 ha.
All right. Well, good looking people. That is going to be it for us this week. If you'd like to reach out to us and tell us how much you love us or how much you've shared us with people so that their sour, dour days can be happy days, or just tell us how much we annoy you, send us an email at dadsmeetworld@gmail.com or reach out to us on our social media channels at dadsmeetworld across X, Instagram, Facebook. And remember, Tyler issued that challenge of 100 reviews, and we'll do the dance of this. I am sure.
Listen, at this point, I would settle for getting more reviews on Spotify than Dad's Meet the World Fever has. So if we can beat those guys at least, I'll take that.
How many do they have?
I don't know. I saw it the other day, and I was like, oh, that's less than I would imagine.
We're going to have Chance back on here soon. I'll have to reach out to him after we're done recording, see if he wants to come on soon. Yeah. So, Chance, if you're listening to us, I'm going to reach out to you. Probably before this episode drops.
And we also want to know, where is that final Boy Meets World stuff you promised us?
Well, until next time, good-looking people, I'll see you.
Bye, good looking.
I want to be normal, Spud. Topanga. We are the Timmers.
This is good TV.
Dads Meet World is a production of Headfirst Studios. Headfirst Studios. Tell your story.